it seems to me, and maybe you can tell me that, like women who are in sort of a younger age demographic, let's just say 18 to 28, somewhere around there, they tend to have this kind of tunnel vision when it comes to like what it is that they are entitled to and what it is that they like, finding that balance between, like, say, alpha fucks and beta bucks, right? They want the guy who's hot. They want the guy who's got this, you know, what the 666, right? 6-pack abs, 6 feet tall, 6-figure income, at least above a 6-inch cock, right? That kind of stuff. But then the guy has to have a lot of money. He has to also allow them like complete 100% independence. They have to be allowed to do whatever the hell it is that they want to do. And we're talking about girls who are like 19 years old who are saying this kind of stuff. So when I see this show and the popularity of this show, the reason why it's kind of indignation inspiring, I think, is because it's that conflict between the balance of those two things that the girls who come onto your show, they discuss this all the time. So like you see this every day. You're probably going to see this tonight. I don't know if you got a show tonight on 4th of July, but like, do you see this? Like, you have to hear the same language used over and over again. You have to hear the same kind of rationale over and over again.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, at this point, you know, we've interviewed hundreds of girls. We bring new girls on every single night. And, yeah, it's just a deep sense of entitlement that's almost like rooted into like their psyche, you know, because when I say the things that I say to them, it's the first time they've heard these kinds of concepts. It challenges their entire, you know, existence. But for some girls, what I've noticed, especially girls that are a little bit older, it connects a lot of dots of why things didn't work out in the past or why something didn't go as planned, or, you know, it kind of alleviates like a question mark that was in their mind for a long time that their girlfriends would never tell them the truth about. So it works on both ends, but it's very obvious. I would say the common denominator is most of the time when I bring girls on, they have now heard most of the things that I say, you know, maybe in parts here and there from a boyfriend or a brother or a father, but never as raw as we give it to them. So, you know, what I've basically learned from interviewing all these girls is most modern day women are coddled. If I'm going to be very honest and candid about it, they're coddled. They're rarely held accountable for their poor decisions. We ran one skit time. We ran one line of questions where we actually asked the girls, "Hey, in your last relationship, tell us what you did that ended the relationship." And it's amazing how the women defaulted to blame the guy every single time, even when we had to remind them, no, what did you do that led to the termination of the relationship? And it was, man, we had to remind them 2 or 3 times until they finally like admit what they did wrong. You know, one girl didn't even want to do it, you know, and it was like, we just clowned her the rest of the show. But the point, you know, just like, but the point is that we had to like let them, it was very difficult for the women to take accountability because we live in a world nowadays where women can do no wrong, you know, and women wholeheartedly believe that and carry that into their relationships, and they do stupid shit that they might not necessarily get caught for, but the boyfriend gets caught for, so they blame the guy. So I would say it's just, if I was to give you like one precise sentence to define most of the girls that come on our show, they're coddled from reality and their bad decisions.
I want to see and this is exactly why I bring you on. Because like these are the women who are like, what? Let me ask you this: what would you say the most common demographic of women are? Like, what's the age range of the girls that you bring on the show? I know you have occasionally you'll have a girl on there who's like 34, 38, but like, what's the mean average?
I would say it ranges between 18 to like mid 30s. But if we were to average it out, I would say the average age of the girl that we bring in is typically somewhere between 20 to 25.
Okay.
They're right there in the prime years.
And most of them believe that at some point, like the fairy tale is going to come true for them. Like they're going to find the guy who is the guy, right? The guy who has the bag and who is also good looking, who also allows them to do like the complete package, the guy who is their perfect ideal lover. Is there any doubt in their minds when they're
yeah, they think that, like, a lot of them think that they're going to get a career. They're going to find a guy that's very attractive. They're going to find the best. And here in Miami, their reality is warped even more because the thing is that we do have a lot of high value men that live here, athletes, celebrities, etc. Like every A-list rapper or celeb has a house and or some type of like residency here where they come here periodically throughout the year. So it's nothing for these girls to get invited to certain yacht parties, to get invited to certain mansion parties, to get invited to certain private social events. Like, if you're a halfway decent looking girl, you are going to get invited to these situations. You are going to rub elbows with these kinds of men on easy mode, you know? But the thing is that, and you can ask a lot of the girls here, like we brought girls here, like, oh, all the guys are the same here. No, not all the guys are the same. Just your small pool of men that you deal with are the same, because you're dealing with the top 1% of man consistently every night. But they think that this is this is how a lot of men are, or all men are like this, or whatever it is. No, it's just that they're dealing with a small minority of men. But they can't even see outside of that because they're just so used to it. Like, girls in Miami like literally live life on easy mode when it comes to like meeting high status men all the time and being around them all the time. You know, it's nothing. I can't tell you how many times we brought female musicians in here that are fucking trash. I'll be honest, like, they are not good. But they've been in the studio with Future. They've been in the studio with some of the Little Durk, whatever. Like, they've hung out, they've done music with them, whatever it is, and they've been around these kinds of individuals. Whereas like a male rapper would never be able to get in the room with these guys unless he was, a platinum selling artist himself. So it's just crazy how, like, when I say privilege is invisible to those that have it, like, girls from Miami that are attractive have that on like steroids, man, like on steroids, like the entitlement and just them being around certain types of men. So I would say for them, the Disney fairy tale is even stronger.
Would you say that they're like half of the reason I titled today's show Open Hypergamy, would you say that most of them are like sort of openly like proud of that? Like they're like the triumphant of like, I'm going to get it and I'm going to do it, and this is just how things are going to work. Like, is open hypergamy, and I hate to use open hypergamy because too many people use the term open hypergamy in the form of a verb, but what I mean is that it's their sexual strategy is no longer a secret. And because when I watch the girls that come on your show, it's as if they expect guys to know what their strategy is. Like, if you're not this, then you're not in the running. You're not in the consideration. Do you think that they're like overt, like shove it in everybody's face?
Yeah. They definitely, like, they make no bones about it. Like, hey, you don't got a bag, I don't fuck with you. Like, like City Girls, a lot of these, Meg Thee Stallion, they've popularized, open hypergamy. They not only have they made it like mainstream, but they've also like encouraged women to operate like this, to literally operate on the highest bidder, use men treat men as expendable commodities for financial security and resources, and then kick them to the curb after. So they're kind of playing the game on reverse with guys from a resource standpoint versus men trying to do it with girls on a sex standpoint. The difference is this: most guys are simps, so women are killing it out here. Most guys don't understand their value. I can't tell you how many guys we get messages from that are doctors, make a lot of money, successful men. Even a lot of these celebs and rappers are simps, man. Like, I've heard stories about a lot of these guys from girls of like the extra stuff that they be doing, where I'm thinking in my head, like, why are you doing this? Like, this chick is like a 21-year-old with zero, like zero real value outside of the way she looks. But like, so many guys simp because it is with OnlyFans culture, with stripper culture, with rap music, where they're talking about buying girls bags and buying girls like gifts and all this other stuff and throwing money at the club and let me throw a rack because it's just what I'm gonna do. Like, we have an entire culture, contemporary culture, that incentivizes men to spend money on women that don't necessarily deserve it. So what happens? They run around across a guy like me, and I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna take you on an expensive ass date. No, I'm not gonna do all this extra shit to try to like appease you. Like, you're not special. And it's like Chinese to them when I talk to them, but it's like, it is what it is. Like, for those of you that listen to hip hop here, I'll tell you guys this: listen to DDG. It's called
yes.
Yeah, Moonwalking in Calabasas.
Fresh turned me into that when I was there.
Yeah, like like Blueface in the song, he goes, rich nigga take her on a cheap date. That's what I need guys to do. But there's not enough of this. You know what I'm saying? There's too much tricking on girls and all this other stuff people put up on their Instagram story. So girls are accustomed to like getting this kind of treatment. And if you don't give it to them, it's like you're almost kind of like an outlier. But the thing is, if you're not going to be a trick, you need to have very strong game, very strong masculine presence to let her know I'm not no sucker, and it's a refreshing change, So yeah, man, I would say that, the culture in general, like the culture in general encourages women to finesse men 100%. Yes. With OnlyFans, all this stuff, women are proud to finesse men nowadays. Like, they're actually encouraged. Like, girls go to the club nowadays with no money to like bet their girls and see, all right, let's see who could get the most drunk without paying $1. You know, how many tables can I get into and finesse?
Yeah.
Like, it's a game now to a lot of women. So guys, you gotta understand that, you know, you gotta protect not only your attention, but you gotta protect your wallet too with a lot of these girls, because they feel entitled to your time and to your money. I've had girls, bro, that literally shame me for not letting them come on the podcast as if they're entitled to come on the podcast. You know what I'm saying? This is the crazy world we live in.
Well, okay. So when I'm watching this show right here, when you're talking about finessing, like you're talking about girls who are like, and well, I shouldn't say this because actually you have had married girls on there. If I don't have missed my guess, there was that one 19-year-old girl. She was like the hottest girl on the panel that one time. She was 19 and she was married, and she's on that show with you guys, you know, talking about, oh, I would get with or she's doing like smash or pass. Like, you're married. Like, well, why are you even here? Why are you not at home with your man, right? And I think that there's
he was in the studio. We let girls bring their husbands, and if they got a boyfriend or a husband, he was in the studio the first time, but the second time I don't think he was. Yeah.
Well, I think that one of the reasons why shows like this are popular is because it allows women to live vicariously in a way that still appeals to, like what you're saying, like finessing guys, right? If they can't actually finesse guys, they can watch a show where some girl finesses two guys. Right. And one of them is Brad and one of them is Cooper. One of them is sort of the boring guy at home who is supposed to like talk about his feelings and babysit the kids. That's why I started with that song this morning today. Why do you not have a babysitter kind of thing? Well, when your man is your babysitter and you're out with the guy that you want to bang and you're married to this guy, you're still in that mode. You're still in that finessing mode.
And I'll say this too, real quick. Like, what a lot of girls do too is they follow. For some of you guys that don't know, like, so obviously, rappers, they have girlfriends, whatever it may be, celebrities, whatever. A lot of the girls will follow their girlfriend and or chick or wife or whatever, and they'll kind of like look at her lifestyle and try to emulate that. You know what I'm saying? So not only is it incentivized for women to be, openly hypergamous, if we're going to use that in a phrase, but there is social media and mainstream culture incentivizes them to look for the best option. And not only that, it incentivizes them to spin plates as far as like men goes, like casually date multiple men. We have a full sugar daddy culture going on in major cities. People don't know about this, like in New York City, Las Vegas, Miami, LA, etc. Any city that has a high cost of living has a thriving sugar daddy culture economy. Yeah. And it's completely normal. A lot of girls do it. It's common. Like I've brought many girls on the show before, and we ask them, hey, are you a sugar baby and or do you know anyone that's involved? Every single girl at the table, if she wasn't involved, knew at least half of friends that was involved in it. And the other thing too is the more attractive a woman is, the higher the likelihood that she's probably either A, had a sugar daddy, B, dated like high net worth individuals, and or C, just rubbed their elbows with like celebrities, whatever it is. So, with the marketplace being globalized, right? The sexual marketplace being globalized and Instagram being the thing that it is on online dating and sugar sites, women literally have their pick of the litter. And a lot of guys, like I told you before, are not RP aware. A lot of them are simps, So they do this stupid stuff. They trick on these chicks, whatever it is. And then after they get finessed a couple of times, they might come across and find this information. But how many guys are going to find this information and actually apply it? Because I've noticed that, we get messages from some celebs and rappers, whatever. Hey, I love what you guys are doing, whatever. But are they applying it? I don't know. I think in the next 5 to 10 years, more and more men are going to become RP aware, which is gret, because the more men that become RP aware, the more these women are going to start to behave. And I don't have to punish so many chicks. But I still see it as like a very small minority of men are actually going to watch this content and apply it.
Yeah. Once you get into a relationship, whether that's marriage or that's just you being in a long-term relationship, the margin for error becomes much thinner than when you are spinning plates, right? Like you were saying before, like these women want to spin plates too, right? And that spinning plates, or that idea that women should be able to spin plates, doesn't end after the relationship begins. So there's always that, like when you guys told me this, and I've seen this on your show, I was there, I saw this happen there live in studio. Women do not want to give up their Instagram. They do not want to give up their OnlyFans. They do not want to give up their social media in any way, shape, or form. And if a guy were to ask them to do such a thing, then that is them being insecure, right?
It's a big fight, man. Every time we ask that question, it's a huge fight. We say, hey, would you give up your Instagram for your boyfriend? 9 out of 10 times it's no. And they wouldn't want to do it. And they're like, well, he better be paying bills. And these girls don't even make money on their Instagram like that. But then I called a couple of them out, and I was like, we had a panel of like pretty, open-minded girls one time. And I said, listen, the real reason y'all don't want to ever give up your Instagram is because women never want to forfeit the ability to replace a man that they're dealing with at a certain point of time. And they know, since they don't actually initiate sexual attraction through a cold approaching or anything like that, that they are hindered to men approaching them. So women, whether they want to admit it or not, will always keep avenues open for other men to potentially court them if the guy that they're with fucks up. It's just that when you say it like that, it's like, oh, damn, like you literally just pulled the veil from us. But that's the truth. They always want to be able to reserve the right to talk to other people at any time, because that's how women maintain leverage. Like I always say, like, men have to earn their abundance mindset, whereas like women just have it naturally. A big part of women having a natural abundance mindset is maintaining their Instagram, maintaining their social media, maintaining their Snapchat, maintaining their Instagram. All of that allows them to continue to get free attention and validation. Because you go back 20 years, which you can speak to this, Rolo, like if a woman wanted to get attention from men or wanted to feel pretty, she had to actually dress up, get her ass up out of the house, walk outside, and make herself available to men, whatever. And then the guy would have to approach her, get a phone number, whatever. Like women had to put in some work back in the day. But nowadays, they don't have to put any work in. And not only do they not have to put any work in, they're actually rewarded by staying inside, putting pictures of themselves on the internet, and then a higher status man that they would never meet in person is probably going to hit them up if they set their page up right. I've been out with so many girls, man. As you guys know, there's plenty of beautiful women here in Miami, and they will have 50 of the same goddamn picture in their camera roll. Pick the best one, touch that one up, use a bunch of filters, they'll use Facetune, all that stuff, make it perfect, post it on Instagram at a prime time, get as many likes as they can. If they don't get enough likes in a certain amount of time, they delete it because they want to get up, pushed in the Discover page and in the Instagram algorithm, which we teach all this on DMs on Demand, shameless plug. But the point is that girls are not stupid. They know how social media works. They know how Instagram works. They have this stuff memorized. A girl that doesn't even use IG like that is going to be still very well versed in social media usage and how to post pictures and angles, all this shit. So they know what they're doing, and they know that if they get rid of their Instagram, it is literally a huge avenue to meet high-value men that is taken out of their repertoire, and women will fight tooth and nail to be able to exercise options with men because they don't have the burden of performance to go out and approach men, so they have to keep the avenues open to be able to allow men to approach them that are higher status than whoever the fuck she's dealing with at that time.